$150 for the winner, 50 for the loser, as we are getting ready to hop into DnS versus Arrogfire for main event number 87. I just thought it would be fun to see an old school guy like DnS play a few more game pieces, try to give him a little bit of love, as I feel like guys that have been around for as long as DnS, they deserve some love. They deserve their time in the limelight as well, and I thought it would be fun to see him duke it out with the youngster that is Arrogfire. Love you guys talking about Grubby. I think Grubby's having his show match with Tyler 1. I think that is what's currently happening. I believe that's been building up for a long time. Tyler 1, very famous from League of Legends stream in the past, and maybe some other things. I don't know. I don't truly keep up, but I guess that's what's happening tonight. A big showdown. Maybe he's casting. Tyler 1 is doing a show match or something along those lines. I think that's why it's so big tonight, but I didn't truly keep up with that. But I think that's what's going on. Thank you to X Blue Cyclone X for the 33 months mandatory. While I wait for these guys to get their vetoes going and host up the first match, the main event for everybody that is just watching, maybe on the iPad, TV, phone, whatever, and doesn't use any other social media. The announcement that we were talking about earlier is the following announcement. I can link it as well in the chat. Is that I got a little promotion within BASILISK, and instead of just being the commentator and the streamer and the team captain, I will now also fulfill a different role in the organization where I will help BASILISK expand into different games. So that means a lot of reaching out to different people of different scenes and make plans together with, of course, Chris and Hans and other people that are involved, and try to cook up some good plans and hopefully grow BASILISK together. Find the right people, find the right games, whether it's content creators, players. That is going to be part of my new journey. I'm obviously very excited about that. I think it's cool, something different, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. But that does not mean that I will no longer stream Starcraft or commentate Starcraft. That is still a very big part of my life. They want me to keep doing that, and I will gladly keep doing that, but that will not be the only thing that I'm going to spend my time on, or a couple Deadlock games or a couple MaxPax games. We'll have weekly meetings, and we'll try to make all the correct decisions and hopefully grow BASILISK into not just a big Starcraft team, but into a big esports org that can compete in multiple titles. Now, of course, all of that takes time, right? That's not something you do over a week. You want to make sure you find the right games, the right scenes, and the right folks that you want to partner up with. That's my first venture. Everything is classified from here on out, but the moment that I can share something with you guys, I will absolutely share it. And I will talk about it for days, and you guys can ask me any questions you want. But we'll see. Plans will be made. There's already some things that we are working on, but nothing that I can comment on right now. Also nothing that's truly set in stone. But I'm excited for it. You guys can host. And game out, please. Or TKL if he wants to. I'm a bit. Let's go chess. Chess would be awesome. I feel like chess would be a very cool second scene to enter. I don't really want to call it a game. I feel like chess is so much more than just a game, and obviously chess is more than just chess.com. Yeah, chess would be very cool. Deadlock is obviously something I'm very passionate about, guys, but I hope you guys understand that just because I like a game, I'm not going to enter the next meeting and be like, so guys, Deadlock, I love it. We should get into it. Sign 6 guys now. I have some friends, by the way. They're really good. Like, that's obviously not how it works. But hey, if Deadlock turns into a big game, a scene, maybe a game that makes it into the Esports World Cup, of course I've got my eyes on it because I love it. I'm passionate about it. But these things all need to make sense. It's not as simple as, oh, Roddy likes a game. Let's sign a couple guys and let's see where the journey takes us. It's not going to be that black and white. What about Osu? If we ever get into Osu Trigger, you're the captain, mate. You get a little promotion too from me. I'll vouch for you. And I'm sure that will be a very easy conversation, but don't know about Osu. Osu is not on the top of my list at the moment. MaxPax, also a little bit early for that, but you never know. Totally ready if TKL's ready. Yep. Let's do it, gamers. Alright, DnS is ready. Arrogfire is ready. A little PvP between two guys that come from completely different generations. One dude that's been around forever. The other one has been around for a little while. Was even on Team Roddy for a little bit. But obviously a large age gap between the two. Thank you to Nyelan for the 17 months. I appreciate it, mate. Old man beating a child in the main event. It could be. Honestly, what are you guys voting for? It's very even. It's PvP, but I can also see it be very even between these two. Be interesting to see what other games, esports teams pick up as well, honestly. Yep, that is interesting for us, but it's obviously interesting for some other teams that you guys may be passionate about. But some orgs that have been around for a long time are already very active in many different games, right? You think of a team like Team Liquid that's been around for 20, 25 years. Of course, they're going to be active in a lot of games. They did incredibly well at the Esports World Cup last summer. Same goes for a team like Falcons, who are the reigning world champs. Apparently, me talking about Falcons defending the title this summer meant that Starcraft is going to be there. I hope that's the case, but as long as Bonnie and Sol are on that team, I'm obviously feeling pretty confident. But that was not an announcement. I don't know why people took it like that. Yeah, one step at a time. You don't make good decisions overnight. You have to think about it. Obviously, I just entered, right? It's been in the works for a little while, but it's not like first day at the job. All right, guys, hear me out. Hire these 17 people. I am certain this is a good plan. No, research is going to be a part of it. And you want to make sure that you make the correct decisions. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to shoot them at my way. But the TLDR is that I'm very excited to work on some other things. But I'll still be here and I'll still be yapping about StarCraft for as long as I enjoy that.
Let's get it on.
And I'm still enjoying it.
Round 1, fight.
Here we go. Ley lines. In the bottom left side, it is the young man representing Alien Esports. I believe, is it Alien Invasion? Alien Esports. We're looking at the main base of our blue Protoss, Arrogfire. Played for Team Roddy for a little while. Has now found a new home. As he's going up against a much older brother. Not even just like his older brother, but maybe his crazy uncle. He's been around for a long time. I love this man. When I asked him to play in the main event, he said, Roddy, are you drunk? I was like, no. I was like, I just want to give some love to the old school guys. And sure, we can invite Spirit and he lays every single week. But why not some DNS? He said, all right, I'll try to make you proud. This is Adrian, DNS. I think DNS and Drogo were truly the torch carriers for the French Protestants for many, many years. Drogo perhaps peaked a bit higher with the DreamHack win, but DNS was always there. A lot of top 8s, a lot of top 16s, and I do think he's had a good career. And I don't think he's done yet. I think he can still do some damage in the year 2025. And I'm not surprised that it's very close in the prediction game, because I do think it's close as well. Like, there's a part of me that thinks that DNS is still just a little bit too solid to not win this series. And then there is a part of me that nobody is young forever, and eventually the youngsters will surpass the old guys. I don't know how far along Arrogfire is on that journey of his. And I don't know how far along DNS is. Did he move? If you mean me, no, I did not move. I did move my setup a little while ago, like half a year ago, from that wall to this wall, but I didn't move. I still live in the same place. After this promotion though, guys, I'm currently looking at Macau, Miami. I'm not sure yet what the next destination is, but we are loyal to Zuidland. I'm a very proud citizen of the beautiful village that is called Zuidland, and I think we'll stay here for a while. DNS has 4 stalkers running to the other side of the map. Arrogfire, his hallucinated Phoenix is in the main. That's obviously not going to do a whole lot without a shield battery. Arrogfire is going to have to buy some time here, guys. Unless DNS makes a mistake and walks up the ramp and gets force fielded. Arrogfire needs to buy time until he gets units 5 and 6 out. It's a little bit awkward. I would go for a high ground warp and lose the pylon. Losing a pylon is not the end of the world. Hello, Ravi. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Well, Arrogfire is actually going to get a high ground battery as well. I almost feel like he's maybe now giving it a bit too much respect. But he's clearly worried about that Oracle that's going to fly into the main. It will fly into the main, but Arrogfire has made it to the low ground. Drops a couple force fields. Kills the first Stalker. Kills the second Stalker. Did not take any damage from the Oracle. Wasn't easy, but in the end, Arrogfire survives the initial pressure of DNS. DnS not done yet. Now has double Oracle, a couple of Adepts in the mix as well. It's weird that Arrogfire has this gate, by the way, in the center, but talk more about that later. DnS will pull some units out of position. Oracles can dive the natural now. That might be a moment to go for it. Really thought about it. In the end, decides against it. And last thing that I'll say about it is that I think what excites me the most is hopefully not just make myself happy or BASILISK happy, but hopefully make some other lovely nerds out there happy. Because I've been on a couple of teams throughout 20 years of esports, but obviously I've never been happier than I've been here. And I hope that a couple of other nerds out there in whatever game that may be can feel the same joy and excitement as I've had. I think that's probably the best part of my new role. That I can hopefully make some people incredibly happy and give them a home and a place where they can excel to new heights. I don't know if I've really excelled, but the other boys have. I've just done my thing. Well, that's obviously very cool. Couple of stalkers of Arrogfire size up the army of DnS, and Arrogfire says, you know what, you invested in Adepts, you invested in Oracles, I don't think you have enough. And he's right. DnS did not have enough, and it was DnS until it was Arrogfire's turn to strike back, and a man who just went straight Twilight Council finishes the game immediately. Did me and Vicky celebrate? Yes, of course we did. Not immediately because I was kind of busy, and then we had a couple of casting things as well and a few other things I had to take care of, but went to the city on Wednesday. I got instructions as well from my boss. It's like, go celebrate, it's good deals. I was like, alright. So I went to Steakhouse, had some ice cream, had some good steak, had some French fries. It was a great night. Arrogfire is so good with 3-gate or 4-gate blink, and he's amazing with 3-gate robo. It's something that's mandatory to talk about. If you talk about Arrogfire and PvP, you're gonna talk about Arrogfire and 3-gate robo. Thank you, Vicky P. Is streaming Padel thing? I've done it a few times on my other channel. It's nothing serious, but yeah, obviously, if you enjoy streaming your workout, you can enjoy streaming, whether it's playing football or playing Padel or tennis. But I feel like you have to be either a very big fan of the person that you're watching, or you have to be mega into the sport that you're watching. Because otherwise, it's obviously way more fun to watch a professional broadcast, right? How am I so good with Phoenix? It's all I've been building for 14 years. Practice makes perfect, mate. Thank you, Ordin, matey, for the 100 bits. Game 2, main event, 1-0 lead for Youngblood.
Round 2, fight!
In the bottom left side, representing the Neil School of StarCraft 2 video gamers. He's been a kid that's gotten a lot of hype and gotten a lot of love for a little while. And he's showing us that he's no longer just the 3-gate kid. He can also expand, he can blink, and he can finish big games here in the main event, taking the 1-0 lead. It is Arrogfire. Top right side of Amygdala, we are looking at the main base of the man who is representing all the old school gamers out there. A lovely guy who's been around forever, has had a beautiful career, and I don't think he's done yet. I hope that he can still show us some great things in 2025. It is Adrian DnS. That is correct, Weasel. We tried that once, Zitran here. I guess that wasn't a very big success. Nobody outside of me enjoyed that Padel session. The pouring rain in Zuidland. It was actually when I played against my brother's wife. She was not enjoying that hour. And she is way more athletic and way more into sports than I am. She was not having a good time that night. Or that day. What are we going to see here in game 2 of DnS vs Arrogfire? It's been a long day for me, guys. I've been up since 8 AM. Since obviously we've been casting the Pick Fest, the tournament. We did 2 out of the 4 groups. It will continue tomorrow at 10 AM. So we can't make it too late or too wild tonight. First 2 days were good. It's always fun to hang out with Pick. And it does feel like some of these tournaments where people have like a couple days to get ready, and the same obviously applies to the Big Brain Bouts. It always feels a little bit different than just casting a Monday night for 5-6 hours, and you know, it's game after game after game. Some of these Basel trees have been pretty epic over at the Big Festival. Tell me, Roddy, with your new boss level salary, Bentley or Rolls Royce next? Well, as you guys know, I'm the proud owner of a Volkswagen Golf from 2017, I think. I think it's gonna stay the Volkswagen Golf from 2017 for a little bit longer, but maybe in 6 months, 9 months, mate, we'll do some shopping. But I've never been a very big fan of big cars. Big cars terrify me because I hate having to enter parking lots with a big fat car. I just prefer tiny cars. Well, maybe we'll get an upgraded Golf one day. Or a sexy Volvo, I don't know. I think that's the category that we're shopping in, mate. Have any mega in person? Not mega. Obviously, we have 3 tournaments that are announced for the year. There are a few other tournaments in the work, but the entire Starcraft 2 scene, and I was really hoping that by now it would finally be all public and be clear, is waiting for that EWC announcement. And we all are feeling very good about it, but until it's 100% official, confirmed, announced, public, and hopefully with a good lead up to it as well, the Starcraft 2 scene is in a bit of an awkward spot. But confidence and positivity is key. I gave a sub. Maybe you have to press F5, mate. Sometimes you have to press F5 and then it will allow you to share your message. Now, the promotion is absolutely no link to StarCraft 2 at EWC. That is not necessarily good news for StarCraft or bad news, because now Roddy needs a different job because he cannot cast EWC. No, it's not related to it at all. Like, it goes without saying, guys, that obviously, as a member of Basilisk, I've always tried to help, and what I like to say is that my door is always open, and any advice that, you know, that they wanted, I was always there. But now, instead of, you know, once in a while asking my opinion about something, I'll be part of weekly meetings. I'll have a say in certain things, and I can share my thoughts, and I'll make some connections with people and players, content creators in different scenes. But obviously, we're already doing some of it to some degree. Now it's just a bit more official and a bit more serious. It's force field galore over here between DNS and Arrogfire. Arrogfire is losing some probes on the other side of the map, but I don't want to take a look at that because I want to take a look at this Sentry Stalker War Prison battle. DNS has force fields, has energy recharge. I guess he already used it. He did already use it. The Pro-4, I think, is excellent here, because any bit of DPS he could get his hands on right now is appreciated. That final force field there is very useful. And one more sentry goes down. DNS could really use just a few more units. He's going to recall whatever the hell he had on the other side of the map. 2 adepts. Even 2 adepts could help here. Warps in the Stalker. I hope that Stalker is safe. I want to say, I think DNS can hold with 4 batteries. 2 of them still having energy. 1 of them a lot of energy. I want to say, I think he can hold. But again, that's a few more very healthy Stalkers on the side of Arrogfire. DNS does have Blink though. And the moment you have Blink, I don't want to say it's easy. You get 4 or 5 Stalkers with Blink, you've got micro potential for days, force fields are no longer scary. Not even say a couple of Blue Stalkers without Blink are not all that scary, even if they outnumber you. Got 3 Adepts showing up here for Arrogfire. DNS is taking damage on his Stalkers, but he's not losing them. I have the feeling, if I was Arrogfire here, I would definitely start thinking of a plan B, if not a plan C. Because I think with just gateway units in the prison, we are no longer winning this. The Stalker count is just too high. Arrogfire is working with a nice economic lead. I don't know why these probes are AFK in the corner. I guess that has to do with the adepts that we were battling earlier while we were taking a look at the Sentry Stalker battle. Bro even helped me with F5. Amazing job. Good for the SC2 scene to have you. What do you mean with F5, Angry? But thank you, mate, for the 7 months and the kind words. I appreciate it. Promotion is not really related to StarCraft 2, of course. But without StarCraft 2, we would have never been in this position. Because then I probably wouldn't have been a member of Basilisk to begin with. Very grateful, as always. Since we have a forward blink on the side of DNS. Snipes the Prism, snipes the Stalker, snipes another Stalker. Arrogfire does have an Immortal out though. Maybe DNS can like activate the barrier. He blinks on top of it. Barrier was already activated. DNS kills it. Nice micro by the ults. I mean, this is a fun series, guys. The gloves are off and the boys are just swinging for the fences. That slow warp, and it really does feel like it takes centuries DNS still has a lot of units. He's got Blink, but some of his units are so freaking low on HP. It is good enough to get a cancel on the third. I don't think it's going to be good enough to win the game anytime soon. Well, he's going to try to prove me wrong. Wipes in 4 more Stalkers. I guess if he kills the Immortal, maybe it is good enough. 24 RV. Oh, it's close. I think it can go DNS this way, but he obviously needs to make sure that he doesn't make the worst blink ever. Activate the barrier. That's exactly what he does. But do you want to blink on top of 3 Zealots? I feel like that's so scary. That is so scary. Thank you, Amber Drake Mate, for the 87 months. Battery is now online. There's no barrier on the Immortal. Forward blink. Zealots were on hold position, so they did not get any shots off. Do we have a new Immortal? No. And without a new Immortal, we almost have Blink on the side of Arrogfire. We got a Prism that can help out until Blink is done. Man, this is mega close. Still want to give it to DNS, right? DNS should be able to do it. Is there an energy recharge? There is an energy recharge. 42 probes against 43. Because now DNS is the one who has dropped the Nexus on the other side of the map. Arrogfire is about to get his hands on Blink too. 12 Stalkers against 6. The Stalkers will finally have Blink within 10 seconds for Arrogfire. Doesn't quite have it yet. A forward Blink on the Prism. DNS gets the Prism. Another Stalkers can Blink. Still a small numbers advantage on the side of DNS. You can see that DNS was a tiny bit surprised that all of a sudden Arrogfire was also blinking his Stalkers. And that means that the old man now has to retreat, and it's the youngster who's chasing him. 4 more Stalkers get warped in, but I don't think you can blink forward here, DNS. And the Immortal is about to show up. Immortal's not participating in the fight yet. So it's Stalkers against Stalkers. Now the Immortal's in range. What a game. Can't say there's a lack of action in these 2 games of PvP so far. Yeah, Arrogfire won game 1. The 6 Stalkers are gonna get a couple shots off on the Sentry and Neil Prism. That's a good target on the Stalker that just got warped in. Even gets the Prism, so that's another Warp Prism that has gone down. And it is DNS in the end who decides to just recall. Obviously after that deep blink into the natural, being stuck. Kinda had to there, had no choice. Does not have Zealot Charge. I think with Zealot Charge this game be easy. DNS apparently does not feel like Zealot Charge is the right investment here. And prefers to double if not triple down on Stalkers. It's gonna be close though, guys. Obviously Arrogfire has to wait for that Warp Prism. That's a little bit annoying. It's the 3rd Warp Prism he had to make. And he does have an Immortal. And if that Immortal can get in range, can be protected, yet participate in the fight, DNS is gonna try to activate the barrier. Does not get the shot off this time. I love PvP. If it's very close, if you're watching 2 guys that are so damn similar in skill, I think PvP is always fun. 11 minutes and it feels like we have been battling non-stop for 9 of them. A couple batteries are really going to help out. DNS now has his own Immortal. It's obviously important that his Immortal gets in range and is also able to participate. The force rules have been decent. The shield battery should make the difference here. They should make the difference. Maybe a forward blink on the Prism. Why not? Forward blink on the Prism. It's a little bit late. Does not deny the warp in. But it is good enough. Now the Immortal is going to get healed up by the battery. DNS should be able to hold. Should be able to tie things up. It is probes to slow Zealot. 7 Stalkers in the end. That is good enough. On a knife's edge. But a really fun game. I don't think if anything is going to top Mute against Milky Cow on Ultra Love, but this was pretty good. This was actually very good. Legit 7-8 minutes of non-stop battling. I haven't, Hotpot. I have failed. I've just had a very busy week because of a lot of stuff that was playing in the back. Then I went for a dinner. I've had the pig tournament, and outside of that, guys, entering 2025, I've been more of a gamer than I've ever been before. With some Macabellum that I play when I'm not streaming, with some Deadlock that I play when I'm not streaming, it's I just didn't have that much time for television. And what I'm currently watching with Vicky is New Girl. It's an old show apparently. I'd never heard of it, but it's kind of fun. Like, who's that girl? It's Jess. And we are in I don't know, season 1, episode 21 or something. It's pretty fun. Does promotion mean you'll be busy more? I mean, of course, it means that I'm gonna have to be productive and hopefully get some stuff done. But it doesn't mean that I can no longer game. Like, I'll have some time to play some video games. I know, JBS. Can you believe it? And then we still we play some Starcraft. Not Starcraft is something I only play on stream though. Like I don't really play off stream anymore. Those days are a bit behind me.
Round 3. Fight.
Top right side of Arrogfire, we are looking at the main base of Alien Esports Arrogfire, the younger French Protoss of the two. Playing well. Definitely showing that he's got the skills to hang with the older generation of StarCraft 2 pros that have been dominating the European scene for so long. The old man in the bottom left side is Adrian DnS. He might be a little older, but the man still looks good. Still plays at a very high level. Mana, DNS, a couple of these guys. It's so cool how long they've been doing this and how good they still are. And to some degree, I almost feel like HeroMarine falls into this category as well. Who's obviously been playing for an exceptionally long time and is still incredibly good. But Gabe just started at such a young age that Gabe doesn't feel old yet. But he is slowly turning into, you know, one of the older gamers out there. Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys watched New Girl, but I think it's pretty fun. I don't know if it gets better or worse throughout the seasons, but it has Zoe Deschanel, a couple dudes. It's fun. It's a fun little show, so that is what I'm currently watching. But one of these days, I'll watch some Jerry. It gets better? Okay, I'm already enjoying season 1, so that's good. I wouldn't quite say that when I was growing up, Hotpot, that I liked Jerry Springer. It's just more, if you were a kid in the 90s and your mom and dad watched some TV, there's a good chance that you grew up with Jerry Springer. It's not like when I was young that I was like every day, it's like, wow, I can't wait for Jerry Springer, but it's just something that was always on. And my mom loved a bit of drama, apparently. We've got a triple gate. And a Robo, the Kid. Demu used to call him the Robo Kid, because Arrogfire was known for his 3-gate Robo. My favorite StarCraft 2 tweet of all time is that Arrogfire got a reverse sweep in the grand finals of whatever tournament. He was down 0-3, then he won 4-3. 4 games in a row, the man went proxy Robo 3-gate. 3-gate Robo, 4 games in a row. He was down 0-3 in the grand finals, and he won it in the end 4-3. DNS is gonna have to go full MaxPax here, and this is definitely not going to be easy. He is supply blocked. Oh my goodness, mate. Yeah, that's actually good news that he lost that probe. Because he was chrono boosting his Stargate, but he wasn't building anything yet. Now you need a shield battery somewhere in the main as well. There are a million things that you need to do correctly here. DNS did get a scout off. That's obviously very useful. Knowing that this is coming makes your life a lot easier. You need to get a shield. I don't think I would have hated it if the battery was like a little bit more in the wide open. So it covers more of the corner of the main. Minion says, isn't this really good for DNS? Oh, let me introduce you to Arrogfire. You know, MaxPax and Hero may be the 2 best Protoss players on the planet. But there is no one out there who's better with 3-gate Robo than Arrogfire. This kid is the finest 3-gate Robo player in the world. And I don't know if it's going to be all that good for DNS. Stalkers are going to go for their Void Ray. We get a couple of good shots off. We're going to run away from the battery. I think DNS is in real trouble. This is Arrogfire. Okay, Arrogfire actually picks up a couple Stalkers and he goes back. He does let in a depth shade deep into the main base. I'm surprised, by the way, that he gave up on all of that so quickly. But I'm not going to doubt Arrogfire. No one does it better. This kid has exceptional Warp Prism Micro. And if he's not feeling the nerves, and if he's just going to execute this as well as he has executed this 5 million times, he's going to be able to get good value. But he lost that Stalker there. That is one loss that was not supposed to happen. A Robo on the way already for DNS. That screams confidence. Arrogfire goes back up the ramp, gets a couple shots off, kills a Stalker, a couple of hot pickups as well as he saves his unit. So far has only lost one unit. Has only lost a single unit as he's now starting to work on the sentry, kills a sentry too. He's now starting to get some good damage on the war prism. Turns around, kills another sentry. Hey, that's a lot of pickups, guys. It's starting to add up. Still just a single Stalker that has gone down on the side of Arrogfire. As he goes back up this ramp, this time he kills the Cybernetic Score. Prismatic Alignment gets activated. Does kill a Stalker, so that's good news for DNS. But DNS so close to losing a Void Ray. I have the feeling that DNS is just dead, man. I think DNS is just dead. Arrogfire is built different. When it comes to 3-gate Robo, no one does it better. Kid is really good with it. It turns out if you do a certain strategy like, I don't know, 1700 times, you're going to be very good at it. And just like that, 6 minutes into game 3, it is Arrogfire who takes the 2-1 lead here in the main event. And is one map away from winning. $150 here on the Friday night. I saw you fix that, Wingant. I mean, you know, Arrogfire has set the bar so ridiculously high with his 3-gate Robo play that I'm almost sad when he loses a stock. I'm like, huh, he lost a unit, you know. Meanwhile, he's killing Stalker after Stalker after Center after Pilot. It's like, you could have picked that one up. I'm almost disappointed that he won the game, but he lost 2 units. I thought he would lose 1 at best, but strong performance so far by the youngster, but he's not there yet. What is game 4? Ultra Love. It is another map with a ramp though. It could just be the exact same thing as what we just saw. I want to take a tiny look at something. DNS is probably in his 30s, right? Or is he like 28, 29? 28. I mean, he doesn't look old. It's just he's been around for so long that I kind of thought he's in his 30s. But I guess just because I'm very old doesn't mean everybody else is that old. He's 28, so that's not even that bad. 28 is still... Oh. Arrogfire is 17. Definitely a proper gap between these two. An 11-year difference. Best counter for 3-gate Robo. Well, if you 100% know that they're going to go 3-gate Robo and they're going to try to win on 1 base, in my eyes, if you go like 1 base Blink, you're obviously very good. If you go 1 base Stalker, 1 base Phoenix Immortal, it's very easy. You'll never die and you'll definitely always be in a good spot. But you can't just blindly assume that it's 3-gate Robo, and then you can also not just assume that they're not expanding behind it at a certain point. And if you play Phoenix and a Robo of 1 base, well, then your opponent's just going to contain you and expand. So I think 1 base 4-gate Blink Stalker is probably as good as a scenario as you're going to get. Because then if you don't even have to defend the natural, you only have to defend your main. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right? Yeah, you can kind of assume when you play Marek, but Marek's been expanding against me, Baumus. Lately he's been expanding. And it used to be Immortals, and also only it's the Stalkers and Prisms as well. The Robo used to be out on the map, now that Robo is built at home. I'm getting tricked by Marek. It's not that easy.
Round 4. Fight.
He's tall. DNS is not that tall. But he is a good looking man, I'll give him that. On the bottom left side, taking the 2-1 lead, 1 map away from winning $150. He DM'd me a little while ago saying, Roddy, I'd really love to play in the Big Brain Bouts again. I know there's a lot of Protosses, but whenever you can have me, please give me another shot. And I figured this would be a good match, and so far it is. It's Arrogfire, representing the Alien Esports. The top right side, down 1-2, our 28-year-old Frenchman, a big fan of F1. And of course, a Starcraft 2 veteran, it is the DNS. I think DNS would probably go low ground pylon, low ground gate against a lot of Protoss players out there. I don't think he wants to do it against Arrogfire. This kid is intimidating. When it comes to 3-gate bro, well, he really is exceptional. And I think he kind of showed that last game. Like, he made that look easy. I do think that maybe DNS should have prioritized gateway production and obviously non-stop void race, fight over that ramp and wait a little bit with the Robo. I think getting a Robo after just 2 void race I think is a little optimistic. I feel like you often see MaxPax get 3 or 4 voids before even finding the resources to warp in a robotics facility and starting Immortal production. He'll go Immortals very quickly if it's one base Blink Stalker all in, but that plays out Omega different than a 3-gate Robo. Even if it may look similar, it's like it's a bunch of Stalkers attacking the guy from one base while the other guy's going up to 2 bases. But one with a Twilight, one with a Robo changes everything on this level. Thank you, boss Starcraft. Appreciate it, mate. Does feel good, guys. Even my mommy is proud of me. Oh, geweldig toch. 2 adepts are gonna shade out. They're gonna chase the probe of Arrogfire. Arrogfire has gone for a pylon on the left side. Now, if you're DNS and you have scouted a single pylon, nothing else, you might get a tiny bit concerned. But obviously, if you're 2-gators on the high ground, it's not the same as last game. Because last game, he truly had to fight over that low ground setup. Now he doesn't. DNS lets the shade finish up, and that means that these adepts are going to be forced to battle. That's not a fight that DNS is going to win. The good news for DNS is that he is delaying the expend of his opponent. But the bad news of that story is that he doesn't really have an expend himself yet. Arrogfire was definitely sitting on a decent amount of cash, so maybe this was all worth it. I don't know. I wouldn't be Omega happy with the start, but there's a good chance that DNS will feel confident as long as he's not behind. It's like, alright, you expand, I expand, and as long as I'm not too far behind, I believe, with all my years of experience playing PvP at the highest level in Europe, then I can bring this one to a successful end. That is correct. Adepts do shade through force fields. There's only one thing that adepts cannot shade through, and that is another adept shade. So you can block adept shades with your own shades, but you cannot block it with a force field. Yep, DNS is down 5 workers because I guess he's been chrono boosting oracles. Oracles have definitely turned around the 5 worker deficit more than once. 1 probe, 2 probe, 3 probes, just like that. That closes the gap a little. He is from France as well, Weasel. It is a youngster from France against an older generation video gamer from France. But with his 28 years old, DNS is not even that old. 28 years of age. That's what I tried to say, but it's been a very long day. From 8 AM until 10 PM, guys. Baba. If Piggy is asking you to cast a couple games with him during his Pig Festival, are you gonna say no? I can't say no to Pig. But the double shift, tomorrow should be a bit easier, and then obviously Sunday is easy. The Adepts of DNS also find some really good damage, so where the Oracles found a couple workers, it's the 2 Adepts that already find 6, and they ain't done yet. Looking decent for DNS now. The man who was down a couple workers a while ago and now say is in a perfectly fine spot. He's going to drop a couple of defensive stasis trappies as well. His blink is quite a bit later. I don't like the energy recharge here. Why not? Arrogfire, I think, realizing that attacking into 4, 5 stasis traps is going to be very difficult. So it will be better for him to just drop his own Nexus on his side of the map and take it from there. I think Stefano will always just be a unique individual. He's definitely from an older generation. But Stefano is different because he's just so wild. DNS is a very chill, calm guy compared to Elias. Stefano also played, not, I want to say too long ago. Like maybe at this point it's like 25, 30 weeks ago that he played. But we still invited him to play a couple games in the Big Brain Bouts. He was happy with it. He said it were his last games, but I don't trust him because Stefano will always play some more games. If another opportunity presents itself, we'll see Stefano play a couple game pieces again. DNS is Stalker count 12. Arrogfire, his Stalker count is 12. He's going to warp in a few more units. Shield battery not done yet. Maybe DNS could have targeted that Stalker. Because obviously you cannot micro a unit. There is a stasis trap here. DNS has set up a little stasis trap. up this ramp, and if Arrogfire chases, that could potentially come into play in a big way, but doesn't seem to be the case. Not exclusively all the players, but I try to switch it up, guys. I try to sometimes get the best of the best, then I try to get a couple up-and-comers, then I try to get a couple older guys, then I try to get a couple community members. Just whatever is possible, because obviously I do always want the games to be live. And by having live StarCraft, you know, not everyone is going to be available, but we mix it up. We've definitely given some love to the older guys from time to time. Stalker numbers look relatively even. It is Arrogfire who's going to warp in 3 more. That's going to give him the lead. The Oracles have tried to find an opening into the natural, but there was no opening to be found. DnS does have a gate right next to the base of Arrogfire. I don't think Arrogfire knows about it. He does have high ground advantage here, so that's a lot of free shots that Arrogfire just got off. And I wouldn't have been omega surprised if Arrogfire, full of confidence, would have decided to go for a forward blink there and chase that army of DnS. But he does not want to chase up a ramp after he just realized how big his high ground advantage was. Hello, Dr. Jack. Welcome, mate. Nice to see you stop by. Tomorrow morning there is a Group C of the Pig Festival. It's 10 AM my time, so that's 4 AM on the East Coast, 1 AM on the West Coast. So it's a proper night shift for the American StarCraft fans, but it is weekend, as we'll do Group C. I am trying to think right now who is in Group C of the Pig Festival. I feel like I looked at it earlier. Why am I drawing a blank now? I think Maru is playing tomorrow, right? MaxPax is in Group D. So I guess Maru is playing. Yeah, it's a bad time for NA, but you know, the world does not always only evolve around NA. Pig is Australian. A lot of the gamers in the tournament are from that time zone in Korea. Can't really always make everything primetime NA. Tomorrow's Hero, Rogue, SKillous, Beyond. That's a really fun group, actually. Always love Nikita. 2 out of 4 Protoss as well for me, so tomorrow should be fun. DnS with a forward blink. I'm kind of surprised because you would think that all of this has not gone particularly well for him, but with a lot of Stalkers, all the Stalkers stuck in a stasis trap in the center, DnS decides to just send it. But Arrogfire had so many more units that even with just the reinforcements and the probe and a couple of extra warpings, Arrogfire did okay there. Kind of missed that stasis trap as we were looking forward to the Pig Festival. It is going to continue tomorrow, and then Sunday morning we have the final group of the 4. Tomorrow is Group D, so tomorrow is MaxPax then, no? Is it MaxPax, Maru, Classic, and it can be Rogue, right? Classic, MaxPax, Dark Maru. Oh, that's pretty damn good too. Also 2 out of 4 Protoss. Light work! Casting all these TOS games is easy for me, then time flies by. So, 2 more fun groups to look forward to. Arrogfire probably felt that maybe he could have ended it when he had 33 Stalkers against 19, but yeah, with 20 of them stuck in a stasis trap in the center of the map, he could not. And it was actually DnS who decided to just YOLO it into his natural. Arrogfire is going to have some nightmares over Oracles. The Oracles are still alive. They're now going to try to fly into the natural. So while we are battling here, there's a chance that the Oracles of DnS find a lot of worker damage. Arrogfire definitely winning this battle. Is there anything left at home? There's a cannon. Cannon is somewhat useful. And that means that DnS's 4th base is in trouble. Zealot count is starting to look better though on the side of DnS. It's +1 against +1. DnS does not have the confidence to blink to that low ground. And now kind of just felt that all of the Zealots stormed into their death without a very big ROI. A lot of probes not mining for the young man from France, but things are looking better and better for Arrogfire. He goes onto the high ground. There is a stasis trap, and that's going to freeze up 5 of these Zealots. Still looks really good for Arrogfire as he just continues to be aggressive. The youngsters have no fear. It's been a little while since we had Arrogfire on the Friday night, but it looks good today. DnS is still cruising around 6,300, 6,400 MMR. Apparently that's not going to stop Arrogfire from getting a strong win here in PvP on the Friday night in his first ever main event. The 17-year-old kid from France has just done a lot of things right in this series. Wasn't easy. Definitely had to work for it. Kid is good. Kid is just really good. He's quick. He's got good micro. He's got good multitasking. I think he has excellent understanding of PvP. And with that final forward blink, he guns down the Immortals, and that will do it. It is our 17-year-old French Protoss who takes out the 28-year-old Protoss. 3-1. And that will be the end of a... I know the Big Brain Bouts was not particularly long. We had a couple of very quick series, but for me it was a very long day of StarCraft. The 5 best of 3s into some ladder, into some replays, into 4 more best of 5s. So as much as I love yapping about probes, Zealots, Stalkers, Cheeky Phoenix and an Oracle, also nice to eventually call it a day and then charge up for the next morning. GG. We'll settle that prediction. You guys did believe in the youngster. 60% of the votes went on favor of Arrogfire, and this Arrogfire who gets it done. Oh, it was a fun series. I am not disappointed in this one at all. I think in the end I should have given Mr. Bitter a slightly lower rated opponent, but I just didn't know, and he didn't send me any replays, so it was very hard for me to guess. I still believe that if Hydra plays his A game, he can put up a better fight against Juanito, but Juanito was way too good today. So that was a little one-sided as well. But the third and the fourth series were really, really good. Mute against Milky Cow is a game that I'll remember for a long time. And I think this PvP, it was a PvP, but it was just fun. A lot of action. Cool to see an old-timer like DnS do his thing and do his best. Unfortunately for him, it was not good enough. And it's the youngster, Arrogfire, that gets the job done. Alright, guys. That will do it for me. I'm going to go ahead and relax a little bit, get some food as well. I had a tiny bit of food after the pig festival earlier today, but time to just chill a little bit. If you guys have any final questions, feel free to send them my way. Thank you, Mute Matey, for the sub. Congrats on the win. That game on Ultra Love was wild. It will stay with me for a while. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, obviously, guys, I'll be back tomorrow morning. I will be back tomorrow morning, and we will take it from there. That's going to be fun. I'll throw it to a tiny break. I'll give you guys some final seconds to maybe come up with something. Any questions about the Big Festival or me or Basilisk or anything, Big Brain Bouts, feel free to send them my way. If there's nothing at 10 a.m., I'll give you guys the link as well to the tournament. Big shout out, of course, to Basilisk, not just for the promotion, but per usual for allowing me to run the Big Brain Bouts. I think it's always fun. I think it makes the gamers happy. Instead of them having to show up 12 days and play 18 series, it is a single best of 5, and they get to do their thing. Not every series always can be epic, but I think we had a good night. I think we had a couple of fun games, and I do think we made most of our gamers happy, so I'm happy about that.